Welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm your entrepreneurship tutor, Professor Henry Bwisa of Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. Today, I want to share with my students and my colleagues specifically on applied research as opposed to the mainstream research that our students and even ourselves undertake. So I'm going to talk about applied research. You can see, as usual, there are many other types of research: content analysis, correlation, and so on and so forth. Now, before I do that, I want to briefly look at the evolution of the university. Yes, the university started as a place where only teaching takes place. You can see there are three circles there: research, service, and teaching. But at the earliest stages of the university, it was only teaching, or mainly teaching, that was taking place. Then the university evolved, and at that stage, research was incorporated. So there was teaching and research. Services were not among the university functions. And then as the university evolved, now the three: teaching, research, and services. And we're calling this an entrepreneurial university, a university that just goes beyond teaching and beyond doing research and actually providing services. Yes, teaching university largely up to the 19th century. Up to the 19th century, universities were mainly doing the function of teaching only. The 19th and 20th century, research crept in. From the 19th century, research crept in and universities started teaching and doing research. And then the 21st century, we are now experiencing entrepreneurial university, where teaching goes on, research goes on, and the services to the community also goes on. This is the 21st century. So this is my conceptualization of the evolution of the university. And now, let me look at it from another perspective. That is the teaching, there is research, and there is service. Yes, the traditional university was just involved in teaching. Research and service was outside the function of the university. Research was done by research institutes, and the services were community-based service institutions such as non-governmental organizations and so on. So those were distinct functions of those institutions. But then, with the evolution, when teaching and research were combined, we created some kind of technical university, polytechnics, where teaching was going on and the research also going on. And when it came to teaching and service, something like training institutes, where, let's say, we're producing teachers, practitioners, and all that. And when it came to research and service, research and development institutes. This is my own conceptualization, open to debate, open to discussion. And you can see now the remaining intersection of all the three, that is the modern university. The university that does teaching, research, and service. I'm saying this is my own conceptualization, but open for discussion. I've not yet published it widely. Now, let's go back to the evolution of the university. Yes, started by teaching only. Then research crept in, and then entrepreneurial university, research, teaching and service. And the research that was going on at universities, early universities, was mainly basic research. Today, the 21st century, we want to involve applied research. We want to have universities not just doing basic research, but applied research. Let's look at the difference between the two, basic research and applied research. By definition, basic research is research that aims to expand the already existing scientific knowledge base. Thus, it is knowledge based. Indeed, even today at universities, we do research to bring up theories, to bring up recommendations, and in most cases, generate reports that are to be read, understood, knowledge gap. But applied research is research that answers specific questions aimed at solving practical problems, and therefore applied research is solution driven. Indeed, today, the university must actually also solve practical solutions of the community. The nature. By nature, basic research is theoretical and exploratory. That is it in its nature. But applied research is practical and descriptive in its nature. What about the focus? Basic research focuses on developing scientific knowledge and predictions. But applied research focuses on developing technology and technique with the help of basic science. What's the objective? Basic research to add some knowledge to the already existing one, but applied research to find a solution to the problem or to a problem under consideration. Specification. Basic research is kind of curiosity driven. We're curious. What is this? Why is this? And we go out to find out of curiosity. But applied research is mainly client driven. You are doing something for the client to absorb, to consume. Commercial purpose. Basic research does not have direct commercial objectives, but applied research has direct commercial objectives. How about the links with the economy? Basic research is less connected with the economy, but applied research is highly connected with economic pursuits. How about the theory formulation? Yes, in basic research formulates theories that explain research findings, hence improves a body of knowledge. Also formulates concepts and generalizations that explain a concept, subject, or a phenomenon. But applied research arrives at research findings that can solve practical problems. You can see that today, in the 21st century, we cannot limit our universe to basic research. Applied research must also be incorporated, must have a place in the university. So, at that source, somebody explains applied research could be defined as utilization of proven theories, basic findings in the pure science to solve practical problems in the real world. By definition, the starting point of any applied research is a set of proved concepts in pure science. Pure science expands the scope of human knowledge and probing the scope of the known facts and expanding them. Fundamental questions, including why we know what we know, are in the center of pure science attention, while the applied science is more interested in how to deploy the known knowledge to solve practical problems. Yes, you see, basic science. Why is this important? But applied science, how can I use this? Those are the key differences between basic and applied research. And let's look at how others have looked at the same basic research and applied research. At that source, we see the purpose of basic research: expand knowledge of processes of business and management. But applied research: improve understanding of particular business or management problem. Basic research results in universal principles relating to the process and its relationship to outcomes. Applied research results in solution to problem or new knowledge limited to the problem that is being investigated. Basic research: findings of significance and value to society in general. But in applied research, findings of practical relevance and value to managers specific in organizations. The context: we do basic research is undertaken by people based in universities. That source tells us. But applied research undertaken by people based in a variety of settings, including organizations and universities. We therefore now see that even universities start embracing applied research. Choice of topic and objectives is determined by the researcher. That's in basic research. The researcher does the choices of the topic, title, and objectives. But in applied research, objectives negotiated with the originator, like the client. Yes, basic research has flexible time scales, but applied research has tight time scales. Another source, that source, looks at fundamental research, which is basic research, and applied research. He says, basic research tries to expand the already existing scientific knowledge base, while applied research focuses on solving real-life problems. Basic research, fundamental research, is purely theoretical, but applied research is practical in its approach. And the primary concern of basic research is to develop scientific knowledge and predictions, while the primary concern of applied research is to stress on the development of technology and technique with the help of basic science. So there's a link between fundamental, basic, and applied. We want now to apply the results of basic research in applied research. I want to say that when conducting applied research, the researcher takes extra care to identify a problem, develop a research hypothesis, and goes ahead to test this hypothesis via an experiment. In many cases, this research approach employs empirical methods in order to solve practical problems. It is said that applied research is sometimes considered to be a non-systematic inquiry because of its direct approach in seeking a solution to a problem. It is typically a follow-up research design that further investigates the findings of pure or basic research in order to validate these findings and apply them to create innovative solutions. So, what are some of the examples that we could apply applied research to? Applied research is used to build knowledge and develop problem solutions. It enables researchers to identify the need of target population, and this would help them to create strategy to satisfy their needs. Applied research can be used to improve agricultural crop production, for example. Like, applied research can also say a study on how to prepare patients for certain types of surgical procedures, or a study on how to design a workplace console to maximize efficiency and productivity while minimizing worker fatigue and error. A study into the ways of improving the levels of customer retention of supermarkets or for supermarkets. An investigation into the ways of improving employee motivation in universities. Development of strategies to introduce change in Kenya's fresh milk supply chain management with the view on cost reduction. You can see topics that could just, call for normal mainstream research can actually be converted into applied research, as we have seen here. Now, let me take this concrete example that one of our students brought in his conceptual framework recently. The title or topic is Social and Environmental Pest Projects to Enhance Climate Change Adaptation for Peasant Farmers in Trans Nzoia County. We can add an applied study. So this is a case where applied research could be embraced. The general objective would be to contribute towards the efforts to enhance climate change adaptation by peasant farmers in Trans Nzoia County. And the possible specific objectives would be to assess the effect of climate change on peasants in Trans Nzoia County. Then to evaluate the climate change adaptation projects or strategies, if any, adopted by the peasants in Trans Nzoia County. Number 3, to generate strategies to improve or institute climate change adaptation project strategies for peasants in Trans Nzoia County. And finally, the practical part of it, to pilot a strategy among those generated in specific objective 3 above. In other words, we are saying that the end point should not just a report for reading in the library, but a practical solution, a pilot to address the problem that was being studied. And what would be a possible conceptual framework? Here is a situation where not necessarily cause and effect conceptual framework, but a flow diagram, like asking, have peasants adopted climate change adaptation project strategies? If yes, are the project strategies successful? If yes, then discuss with the peasants and generate sustainability strategies. To sustain those successful strategies, sustainability measures are required, and therefore that could be the research on how to sustain them. But if the peasants have not adopted climate change adaptation projects, and if the projects are not successful, then 1, discussion with peasants and the generation of appropriate climate change adaptation project strategies, and then piloting a project strategy from those generated. This is a conceptualizing this kind of applied research. You can see a conceptual framework can be a flow diagram. It's not necessarily a cause and effect diagram. Of course, the student or a researcher has his democratic right to again choose which approach to take. Now, if you enjoyed it, like it, share it, subscribe. And if you wish to support us, bring you more of the same, donate. Just visit that website and you'll see the donation directions. Or simply drop something on buy goods till number 5476465. Thank you, and have an applied approach to research, won't you?